let's take you back to our main story. The South African National Taxi Association, alongside Santaco, has announced that from today, taxis will operate at full capacity. This despite the country being at level 3 of the lockdown, which only allows taxis to load passengers at 70% capacity. For more on this, we're joined now by the president of Santaco, Philip Taibosh. He talks to us from the Free State. Mr. Taibosh, thanks for your time. Firstly, have you been monitoring whether or not your message has landed on the ground? Some taxi operators are not loading at full capacity.
Good morning, Tolly, and good morning to your viewers, and thank you for having us on your program. Tolly, I must indicate that Santaco is a democratic organization. When we take these decisions, we are mindful that there are those who will get the news late and those who will decide to do another way. But what we are saying is that this is not a forced situation. I'm actually controlled by the 9 provinces, and the 9 provinces have decided that the long distance should be open and the 100% capacity should be reinstated after we have reported them to them the problems that we're having in having discussions and consultation with government.
Yeah. Mr. Taibosh, is the taxi industry as a whole ready for legal suits? And what I'm talking about here is some people will say you're opening yourself up for litigation if you are going to purposefully endanger people's lives, because there will be no social distancing inside a taxi that is full to capacity.
Remember, Cody, the other thing is that it is up to you whether you want to get into a taxi which is in full capacity. It's up to you. So what we are saying is that, Cody, and it is very difficult when threats like those are coming to the taxi industry, when this thing has been advocated as something which comes from nowhere. So we are mindful of that, Cody, and hence we are insisting on ensuring that compliance take place as far as disinfection, the sanitization, and also to ensure that everybody in the taxi wears a mask.
What is your attitude to taxi associations, for example, the ones operating out of the Bree taxi rank this morning? They're telling us that, first of all, they are happy with government's 1.1 billion rand relief funding, which means they will be happy with receiving 5,000 rands. What is the attitude towards those associations? Are you happy for them to take this money and still comply with the 70% capacity?
Tony, let me first indicate this. You have seen what happened in Gauteng. The whole Gauteng was to a standstill on Monday, saying that they don't want this 1.1 billion rand. It's too little. And what we are saying as Santaco, we have never said it's too little. What we are saying is that we want to continue discussing with government around the 1.1 billion to see whether there is no way that it can be increased so that it can fit or we can, in a way, satisfy the need of the taxi operators who have been out of business for the last 3 months.
So why are you doing what you're doing then today?
It's a mandate that I got from the team, the leadership, that because the minister is not engaging with us, the minister continues to postpone the meetings with us. We can't report genuinely to our members. And I must indicate, Coley, that those associations which have indicated that they will load 70%, nobody is going to punish them for doing that. And nobody is actually coerced to support the 100% opening.
Have you, talking about coercion, I like the use of that word, talking about that, have you been bullied into this decision of loading taxis at 100% by the KZN Santaco, because they were the first out of the starting blocks?
No. Let me indicate to you, Santaco is a national organization and Santaco takes national decision. And all the 9 provinces came together, and together they decided that enough is enough as far as the continuous postponement of meetings, because I reported to them that, listen, I don't have anything to give you because the minister continues postponing at 11th hour the meetings. So we don't have anything for you, since the minister indicated last week Tuesday he would come back to the taxi industry, and up to today have not come back to the taxi industry. So I'm still waiting. I don't know whether the minister will eventually come back to give us a report as to what is happening in the country and to what is happening to the request that Santaco has made. Remember that Santaco has not made a demand to the minister. We have made a request.
Mr. Taibosh, just to make it categorically clear, who's actually responsible for postponing these meetings? Between yourself and the transport.
The minister is responsible for postponing these meetings.
And what is his reasoning?
I don't know.
There's a taxi, Mr. Taibosh, in fact there are about 3 of them that are leaving. In fact, we're told they've left KZN, headed to Johannesburg. If those taxis are stopped by law enforcement and impounded, what will be the response from the leadership of the taxi industry?
Tony, the response and the decision that has been taken is that if one taxi is impounded on the basis of loading full capacity, and we are not saying when it is impounded for the defects or any other transgressions, we say for the loading capacity that the 9 provinces will then come together and ensure that they support that particular taxi and bring the taxis to a standstill.
Philip Taibosh, thank you very much for your time.